What's up, everybody? Welcome to this channel, Beards of Kentucky. We're going to be talking about the Arcade Fire's new album, We, today.
Yeah, I was really hyped for this album. Arcade Fire is one of my favorite bands, and I've been waiting for them to release new music for a while now. And so when I heard that we were getting it, I was so excited. So yeah,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, you've been pretty excited about this one for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
We covered when they first released the first track from this album, or first two tracks from this album,
yeah. The Lightning.
the Lightning, and the video for that. We did a reaction video to that, which you can check out in the show notes below. Before we dive into our reactions, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel, and bonus points if you get those notifications so you don't miss when we release new content. Yeah, so um, I have been listening to Arcade Fire for many years. I remember when Funeral came out, and really liked that album, and really liked Neon Bible, The Suburbs, Reflector. I did not listen to Everything Now a whole lot, but I have listened to it in the last few months leading up to this, and really enjoyed that. Um, uh,
Yeah.
I think that they've never been. I would never have considered them like a favorite band of mine, but a band that I was definitely very interested in. I thought they were a very interesting band, and definitely, yeah, had done some excellent work. Have some, what is it? The Mountains Beyond Mountains, the last track on the Suburbs, or second to last track
Yeah.
technically, I guess, but really the last track. Is like just an incredible song, and there's so many more incredible songs. So I was like, yeah, let's do a reaction to this album.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've listened to it probably the whole thing. Looks like 4 times so far.
Yeah, I think the same
So
for me.
yeah.
Yeah, I kind of got into Arcade Fire around last year, and pretty much ever since I started listening to them, I've fallen in love with them. They're really they're really good at like making really catchy songs, but
Hmm.
not just basic songs, basically catchy. Just they're interesting, and they're really good at writing lyrics as well. And all their albums just are very cohesive, which I think is very important. So I mean, I've enjoyed all their albums.
Hmm.
Their first four are also my favorites. And I'm a defender of everything now. I don't think it's as good as their first four in any way, but I still think it's a good album, and it does not deserve all the hate it gets.
I'm surprised it gets hate. It's not. It's a good album. Like
Yeah,
it's
I mean, there's some not very good songs on there. Like Peter Pan is pretty boring, and there are a couple others that are just kind of like, I mean, you didn't need to put this on here. But
nothing like that. When I listened to it, seemed cringe. But let's not get too sidetracked, because this is
yeah,
supposed to be about
yeah,
this album. So
yeah,
at some point we'll probably do a maybe a deep dive video on their entire discography.
yeah,
Have some fun doing that. So, but let's talk about this new album.
yeah.
So
So, first of all, I'd like to say that I really like this cover art. I think it's really pretty.
oh,
So
nice.
I think that's pretty nice. But
That's good because it's right above your head.
that is true. Anyway, so I was really hyped when the Lightning 1 and 2 came out. I thought that was just a great song. It took me back to the suburbs, and it reminded me of old Arcade Fire and how much I love them.
Hmm.
And then I heard that they're gonna be releasing another single, which I wasn't really. I didn't think I was gonna listen to it before the album, because I mean the album's only 10 tracks. You've already released two of the songs, so I'm probably not gonna check it out. But I heard like little clips of it, and I was kind of worried. That was Unconditional One, and I was kind of worried because it just sounded kind of basic and very uninteresting.
Hmm.
And so when I finally did decide to check it out, I think like maybe 2 days before the album was released. I was actually pleasantly surprised because it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Like I think the verses, it's not the verse is pretty boring. It just sounds kind of generic, but
Hmm.
I really like the chorus on that song. It reminds me of older Arcade Fire. Some maybe like one of the more mellow tracks off of the Suburbs,
Hmm.
and there were just other aspects of the song that I enjoyed a lot. And so I like that song a lot too.
Yeah.
And then when the album finally came out, you know, I was so excited. You know, I was like, this is gonna be album of the year right here. You know, and I wasn't digging it too much. You know, I liked it, but I didn't think there were any like incredible songs besides like Lightning. Um, and so I went back and listened to it again, and I enjoyed it a lot more. You know, my second listen, I really like the new wave
Yeah.
influence it had. Like on Age of Anxiety 2, I thought that song was really cool. You know, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's you know, it feels very claustrophobic, but it
Yeah.
also is able to expand without forgetting that
Yeah.
it's very claustrophobic. And then Unconditional 2, I enjoyed that song a lot because
Yeah, that's a good one.
yeah, Peter Gabriel's on it, which I mean I don't think that's as iconic as David Bowie making an appearance on Reflector, but I mean it's still pretty cool.
Peter Gabriel's pretty darn iconic. I
He
mean,
is.
I was thinking to myself, by getting him, it's like, wow, they've collaborated now with David Byrne from Talking Heads. They've collaborated with David Bowie, Peter Gabriel, all really like pretty iconic sort of art rock icons. You know, like art rock icons. I would say all three of those guys. Like maybe three of the biggest. They at least got to be in the top 10 like art rock icons, I'd say, of like the, from the mid 70s on.
Yeah, and they've also kind of collaborated with Daft Punk. You know, they produced a couple songs of Everything Now. But anyway, yeah. So I dug that song a lot. You know, I'm always happy to hear Regine. Have her song. So that was also a really great track, and all the other songs on there. You know, they might not be as great as those 3 tracks. You know, I still think Age of Anxiety 1 is pretty great as well. But something interesting to me about this album is how it doesn't really have any bad songs. You know. But all the songs are at least good, and there's none that I'm just kind of like, this is just kind of not doing it for me. All of them I at least enjoy to an extent. So I all in all I think this is a pretty good project. What about you?
Yeah, I'm digging this album quite a bit. I will say maybe my second or third listen, I was just really struck by the opening track, Age of Anxiety 1.
Yeah, that song's great.
I really, like, it hit me on a very emotional level. It may be because I was feeling particularly anxious as I was listening to it at that moment. Not about the song, but just about the state of the world and just everything, and everything. Like, sometimes you just get anxious about things, and it felt like he was speaking right to me, and it's a beautiful song, beautiful melody, and it hit on a very personal level in one particular moment as I was listening to it. So I really like that. I had to throw in as I was listening to Rabbit Hole again today. I was like, I got to throw in the at different times, just because I think that's funny. It kind of makes me smirk when that happens in the song. But it's a cool song too. Very, very cool track. It's interesting. I almost get like sort of a, by the time we get to End of the Empire, I get this like, sort of prog rock concept album.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
But I think Arcade Fire always has sort of a concept album approach.
Oh yeah, I mean all of their albums are in some way tied together. With Funeral, I mean it's death of family members or something, and trying to try not to lose your your youthfulness after going through all these all that. Neon Bibles, sort of like religion and politics.
I think they're just a great. I mean, I think that's one thing that makes them a compelling band is they're really good at pulling together an album that has a consistent theme, right? That and so it comes off as more of a work of art, right? Than just this like collection of songs necessarily. But I think if when you get to Sagittarius A, End of the Empire 4, it really starts to feel like that, with some of the stuff going on in that song. Interesting note. Do you know what Sagittarius A is?
It's a black hole.
Yeah, it's Go ahead.
Yeah, I've heard people say that this song is like pretty much what it's these 4 songs beforehand. Pretty much they're leading up to this person trying to leave Earth, and see if there's something beyond Sagittarius A, maybe a different Earth, that's not as anxious.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
I think that's kind of interesting.
Well, yeah, it's a supermassive black hole at the center of the Milky Way. So, yeah, that's a set. So
Yeah.
I kind of, I thought to myself, like, it's in a way, this album almost feels like like an album from like a mid-70s prog band to me, and sort of like the thematic approach. And that was what really made it hit home, because I started thinking, like, this sounds like something that would be in like a Rush song or something like that. Or,
I can see that, yeah.
Or like, or even that would be in like a Genesis album when Peter Gabriel was still the front man for Genesis.
Maybe that's why they have Peter Gabriel in here. Yeah.
Hey, it works, right?
Yeah. Also, I want to mention real quickly, it's kind of interesting how to the parentheses, there's Age of Anxiety to Rabbit Hole, but then the next one is End of the Empire for Sagittarius A, which Rabbit Hole is like super claustrophobic. And then with Sagittarius A, it seems super open, but it's also it'll kill you. So I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Just the idea of a black hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the rabbit hole as well. So.
Oh yeah. I got you. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm feeling you. Yeah, rabbit hole. But Sagittarius A being like gigantic. Rabbit hole's tiny. Sagittarius, the black hole, is huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, you really can't go. Black hole is not really a hole. It's just kind of this it's just kind of this place where gravity pulls everything in and flattens it, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's throwing amazing astronomics knowledge at you right there.
Yeah.
You probably think I'm just a genius. Okay. All right. I'm sure everything I said was correct. All right, so the Lightning 1 and 2, we've already talked about those tracks, but those have really continued to grow on me. Those are really cool. I get kind of like Bruce Springsteen vibes from those tracks, especially the first part. It's just very Lightning 1, very catchy.
Yeah, it is. It's
but Lightning 2, very catchy. Like just when it gets sped up and it's like da, da, waiting on a da, 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 and it, I love the drumming too. The drumming's great.
I know it is. It's really fun to play.
I would say like Unconditional One is actually the one song I probably can't come up with how it sounds right off the top of my head, even though I've listened to it several times. Race and Religion is great, is really good. I love the way I love that Peter Gabriel isn't like way up in the mix. He's not like front and center on the track, but he's doing his Peter Gabriel thing in the background.
It's like what they did with Reflector, where David Bowie is just in the background for most of it, and then he has like a little line there, like towards the middle of the song, and then for the rest he's just background.
Yeah.
Which I think that's cool.
I mean, it sounds like Race and Religion almost sounds like it could be like a, could have been a song on So, or which was Peter Gabriel's kind of one of his masterpiece albums from the 80s. And then We is a really, really beautiful, like, just kind of quieter closer.
I like the guitar on that song a lot.
Yeah, great. Really like that one. It's understated, but I really like it as a closer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think this is a really good album. I think, maybe we come back to it later on after we've listened to it some more, and I think it'd be interesting one to do a real deep dive on and understand, like, go into all the lyrics and understand, like, what they're talking about on this record. I think there's some interesting things going on lyrically. So, and they really, man, whatever the show is they're talking about, they really don't like season 5. That's all I gotta say. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. So, I mean, I think
was that dumb what I just said?
No,
okay.
I wasn't. I mean,
I was struck by that lyric. It's like,
it's
we unsubscribe.
I know that part was kind of dumb. I didn't like that. I don't like that they're like, oh, we unsubscribe. It's like you're kind of just doing that, that.
Will that end up sounding dated? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it will. It already sounds dated.
It already sounds dated.
Anyway, other than that line, I think this is going to be an album that actually ages really well. I think a lot of people have been, this one's been already very mixed so far, because you have some people saying it's a masterpiece and it's one of their best albums, but then you've also got people saying it's terrible. You know, it's so bad.
Well, they're at that point in their career where it's going to be a mixed bag no matter what they do, probably, right? Some people are going to be like, oh, they haven't made a good album since, you know, the Suburbs or something like that, right? And some people are like, you know, oh, this is the greatest thing they've ever done, right?
Yeah.
You know, so it's you know, what, you know, people are going to have different opinions, but I think it's a pretty solid record. I don't think they have made a not solid record yet. Now, they've probably at least 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 classics, 2 definite classics, maybe as many as 4.
I would say 4. Yeah.
And this one could be.
I think this one's going to become a classic.
I think it can grow on me to being at that status. So they just keep up the good work, Arcade Fire.
Yeah, my only issue with it is just it's really short. You know, it's only 40 minutes long.
It is pretty short, yeah.
And when I remember hearing Win say that he wrote 2 to 3 Arcade Fire albums during quarantine, so I have a feeling that we might be getting another one soon, and I hope we do, because I mean, maybe like a sequel to this would be really cool. So anyway, yeah, I think this one's just gonna get better for me, because you know, each time I've listened to it, I've enjoyed it more and more. So yeah.
Right on. All right, y'all. Well, what do you think about We by the Arcade Fire? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for our channel. Make sure you hit the like button for this video. And we will talk at you next time.
Well, hold on a second. What about 3 favorite tracks?
Oh, 3. Oh, right. Let's do 3 favorite tracks. Yeah. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Okay.
So, you know, I think this one could change, but I'm feeling Age of Anxiety 2, Rabbit Hole, Unconditional 2, Race and Religion, and The Lightning 1 and 2. So, yeah.
So you're counting Lightning 1 and 2 as one song?
Yeah, they technically are. If you look at like the vinyl pressing of it, they're combined as one song. So.
Fair enough. Yeah. I'd probably go with Age of Anxiety 1, and then We, and Race and Religion.
Nice.
Yeah, top 3 for me.
All right.
All right, y'all. Well, now, thank you for watching. And one last time, don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button.
Yeah.
We will talk at you next time.
See ya.
Bye-bye.